Hello, welcome to Epichorrorfans. Today we're going to be reviewing Bates Motel.
Season 1.
Yeah, it's a new television series on A&E, and it's a prequel to the original
A
Bates
contemporary,
Motel, movie, but it's also a reboot that takes place in modern time, which is really interesting. And I think it's one of the best horror shows on TV in a long time, next to Walking Dead. I think those are my two favorite horror shows right now on TV, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, I'm gonna throw it off to you, Sean. What do you think of?
All right. Well, anyways, in case you don't know,
One?
I'm JTISREBORN. This is Sexydanny21awesome. Epichorrorfans. Blah blah blah. You know the drill. So, anyways, we're here to talk about Season 1 of Bates Motel, which is the contemporary cycle prequel. It stars Freddy Highmore as Norman Bates and Vera Farminga as Norma Bates, and then you got a big supporting cast: his brother Dylan, Sheriff Romero, you got Keith Summers, Deputy Shelby, Abernathy, who's a creepy guy. You got Nicola Peltz from The Last Airbender, which is a terrible movie. She's an okay actress, and then his friend Emma. Sorry if we don't remember all the names, but we remember the story of the show. So anyways, this show, as we said, is a contemporary cycle prequel. I think it's really great. I was engaged in every episode. So what happens is Norman Bates and Norma Bates, they move to this small town and they trying to open up the Bates Motel. It used to be owned by the Summers from Somerset, the Summers family, Keith Summers and his, whole spiel. So what happens is when they move in, a bunch of shit goes down. I mean, Keith Summers, the guy who owned the place prior, starts harassing them. He rapes Norman's mom and she kills him. And throughout the whole season, they're trying to cover it up, and then Norma becomes friends with Zach Shelby. He's a cop who's actually really crooked, as we find out later on in the show. And they have their relationship. And, so much desperation, so much hiding, so many issues going on. This is just not the best time for this family. Eventually, there's her other son, Norman's half-brother, Dylan, shows up. And he joins the family. First he starts out as a total jerk, and then you can see him evolve as the series goes on. He's starting to warm up to his family and his mom. And throughout this time, Norma is in a relationship with the Zach Shelby guy, and she doesn't believe it when Norman finds out that he's actually a crooked guy. He runs a sex slave operation with some other character named Abernathy, or that's really just his cover-up name. He appears later on in the show. Really creepy guy. But there's just so many things going on in the show. Norman, he's trying to start a relationship with this one girl who, takes advantage of him, like Bradley, like most women do. And then another girl likes him, and, they have their issues. The show overall was really good. I give the season a 9 out of 10. That finale, it was pretty weak, but I wasn't really disappointed with it. It wasn't as weak as the Walking Dead season finale. But, it leads into Season 2 pretty well. And I'm looking forward to it. So, Danny, what do you think of the show?
I would give this series a 10 out of 10. I think that Freddy Highmore is perfect as Norman Bates.
Oh, yeah, he's really good.
He gives a fantastic performance in this television series. And I just like the realism in this show, with also the mixes of comedy, dark elements in it. There's lots of a little comedy, put in there, but it's also mixed in with realism, and it's really nice how they do that. And I just, there's just so many comical, dark undertones with Norma Bates, basically, who's hilarious.
She is hilarious. I mean, she's so bipolar. I mean, she's just like, what are you doing? What about me? Why am I going to get arrested? I thought you wanted to live with me.
I think she's such a fascinating character because...
she's so fun to watch. I mean...
She is really fun to watch because I think they really breathe life into her character. I don't think in the original show or sequels they really had her character. Her character was basically one-dimensional in
Yeah,
the
I'm
original series.
crazy. That's it. No real
Yeah,
build
but
up.
where in this series she's more of a rounder character. You can see how she's very
Manipulative
yeah, and she's very devious
and
and
controlling
very
person.
yeah, and she tries to put herself to be like this perfect mother, basically,
Hmm.
where she does everything correct all the time, and basically she's isolating Norman from the world. And Spider Jack Angel and me got in an argument about this, where he said that he felt that Norman's character should have been more abusive to Norman, and I told him, well, this is a modern take on
Hmm.
Psycho, so they can't have her beating Norman up because the school board would know right away that she's beating up. They would have figured it out right from the beginning.
Yeah, and he would
So,
have probably been out of there with his brother Dylan. You know what I mean?
and I would say that Norma Bates is not beating him up physically, but she's been beating him up mentally.
Yeah.
Psychologically, she's psychologically pretty much
Hmm.
damaging him because she's isolating him from the world, and he's cut off from the world, and he doesn't know how to interact
Interact.
with the outside world, basically. And I don't think like Norma Bates's other son says Norman Bates's half brother
Dylan.
Dylan says that it's not very healthy, and I agree with him. She's not really being a very good mother because she's not allowing him to interact with the other people in the show. The other people
Hmm.
outside, in his school, all the girls and stuff. She doesn't want him to interact with them. She
Except
wants
for
to
Emma.
pick. She wants to pick the people that he's interacting with. She's very, uptight about everything, and that's really not good for her.
Hmm.
And I just like how he has these blackouts and he doesn't remember anything, and I think that's really cool. He's having these really weird dreams about drowning
Bradley,
Bradley.
one of the girls he likes and
Yeah,
bangs.
yeah, and I think Bradley is such a well played character because I think that
She's really manipulative.
yeah, because I think everybody has gone to high school and had their heart broken basically by some girl or taken advantage of, So I think everybody can relate to that. So I think there's a really relatability with Bradley because she's a girl that everybody. I think there's a girl in every high school that reminds you of Bradley basically.
Oh yeah.
So, I just think that she's a well done character. She feels real, and that's what I like about her. And I just like how his brother Dylan is, he's getting kind of threatened with Dylan being with Bradley. I think that's a really cool thing that could play.
Yeah, and Dylan's just there. He's just like, well, it kind of be almost pedophilia when you think about it. I'm like in my 20s, and this girl's what, like 17?
Yeah,
And
and
it's just,
Dylan knows it's wrong. Like he told Norman that.
yeah, he's like the most normal, even though he's already killed some people. But
Yeah.
he's the most normal, and he's like a murderer. So it's just kind of strange. He killed Shelby, and then he killed that one guy who killed Ethan, his drug partner. Yeah, there's also a lot of subplots going on in the show. It's not just about the characters trying to fit into the society. They're caught in like this town. This town is so corrupted, like on every sort of level. You got the law enforcement, you got the people involved, you got the pot plants, you got the sex slave ring. I'm wondering if the two things are connected. Like we might find out about that later in season 2, if they are kind of linked together by the same guy. But for right now, it's been like interpreted as separate. The dealings with the town are pretty good. The sheriff
Yeah.
Romero, he's a fishy character, but I felt like he kind of triumphed a little in the end of the season.
I'm kind of questioning his character. Like, is there's something more to his character that we don't know? I think there is.
Yeah, yeah,
There's something very dark and twisted behind his character that we don't know about yet.
yeah. A lot of people they've evolved a lot in the show. Like Norman at first was like, "Oh, I'm so innocent," and then we just see how this psychosis, just breaks down in him. And every time, like he's trying to have something positive, he has like the visions of his mom, who's telling him, "No, no, 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 no," and Norman's just going psycho, and he just keeps seeing things. And like, there's some characters that are trying to, be good to him, like have the humanity, like this one girl who likes him, Emma, she's like, oh, I like you. I'm gonna be nice to you. He's like, well, I just banged Bradley. We were like together, and like just the way they like put things off is really funny.
Yeah, and I think one of the like the most tragic scenes in the series is where Norman goes to the prom with that girl
Emma.
Emma,
Like the
right?
winter dance, and they had the artificial snow. I'm like, man, this school must be rich.
Yeah, and then Emma gets all upset because he's looking at Bradley, and she leaves the prom, which I thought was really well done. And he goes outside
Gets his ass kicked
and yeah, he gets his ass kicked. He gets punched in the face.
by Bradley's boyfriend, and he's just like, you took advantage of her. Well, he was just there. He didn't really do anything. I mean,
Yeah, all I gotta say is Bradley's boyfriend is a douchebag.
well, I mean, she's cheating on him. It's really her fault. He's just there, and he's just like, you don't just stay away from her. It's like, well, hey, she came on to me, man. I mean, I just went over to her house because I was like, yeah, we're being nice to each other. And then she just like,
I know. I just thought that was really well done.
Mhm.
How they did that in the finale. I thought that part was really well done.
Mhm.
I know some of it was left not. I know that some of it was pretty predictable,
Mhm.
but at the same time, I think it was really well set up how they did
Mhm.
the whole prom and everything.
Yeah.
And I think that there's going to be a lot of twists in the second season.
Oh, I can't wait for season 2. I mean, this show, it's kept me engaged for like 10 weeks, which is really good. It's something I can look forward to every week. Now I'm going to have to, the only show I feel like I'm really looking forward to horror-wise is Hannibal. But Hannibal's a good show. Then once that's done, it's just like, well, what do I watch now? Might get a break, but I still do my wrestling reviews, but who cares? Anyways, other things I like. That Abernathy guy, the guy with the glasses, the guy who like came in at the end, he's like, Keith Summers here? No. Well, I got an arrangement. And that guy was creepy as hell.
Yeah,
He was a great bad guy.
he was. And I can't wait to see who's going to be the next bad guy. And
Will it be Romero? Will it be all about Norman and the issues that unfold at the end of the season?
Yeah, and what's going to happen to Dylan's character? Is he going to live
Is he
till
gonna...
season 3, or is he going to die in season 2? Because I thought he was going to die in season 1.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh, I kind of like this guy. Let's build on him a little more. We didn't get enough. There needs to be a little more Dylan in season 2. But I felt like some of the best scenes were with Norman and his mom. Just some of the arguments. Like there was this really funny scene. I mean, because let's bring up the humor again. Like he's looking for socks, and they just get in this big, huge argument about where are my white. He's like, Mother, where are my black socks? It's like, I don't know. Did you check your drawer? No, Mother, I didn't check my drawer. That's why I'm looking in there. That's why I don't have any. He's just like, and then Dylan's just like, well, I got black socks, and then they're like, okay, and he's just like, Mother, I'm sorry, I love you, and it's just like, what the hell?
That's what I'm talking about, the dark, comical undertones.
Oh yeah, and then sometimes,
like situational humor.
hmm
It kind of reminds me a little bit of kind of like American Psycho's humor.
oh, American Psycho is just hilarious. Just like you got these psychotic people, and then
Yeah, that's what I mean though. Like they'll have a scene that's totally random that has nothing to do with it. Like something that happens in everyday life that can be humorous.
Oh yeah, it's pretty funny with a lot of those scenes. The scenes with him and his mom are like some of the best scenes in the show because their interactions they have amazing chemistry on screen together.
Yeah, it's like it's like Walter White and Jesse Pinkman, except you get Norma and Norman Bates.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic chemistry between Freddy Highmore and Vera Farminga.
Yeah,
hmm
when you get them together, I mean,
They just steal the scenes, and then Dylan's in there. He's like the normal guy. He's pretty good too. Sheriff, he's pretty fishy. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in this show.
And I can't wait to see season 2. So you give it a 9 out of 10, and I give it a 10 out of 10.
The only reason I give it a 9 is probably for like some nitpicking things, that have brought down like the season finale. I felt was really weak. I would have liked to go off more with a bang. But if it went out with a bang, I would be like, okay, 10 out of 10 show. Some of the acting can be funny at times, like when this is like nitpicking here. I think he's really good as Norman Bates, but sometimes when he cries or gets really angry, like his voice cracks, and he's just like, okay, this is kind of funny. Like, there's a part where he's like, Mom, Dad's dead, hurry! And just the way he says it's pretty funny.
Well, I think that Freddy Highmore does a great
Oh,
job.
he's really great as Norman Bates. He fits the
Yeah,
character.
I know. I mean, I think he captures Norman Bates' character because there's something very I don't know, something very like I can't describe it. There's something very childlike in Norman Bates' character because he's a character that's really been isolated from the world because of his mom.
Yeah, it's just like
So
all in his mind.
yeah, and that's why I think he was the perfect Norman Bates because he he gives a fantastic performance, and I think he really captures his emotions. And I think that the cool thing about Bates Motel is it works as a kind of like horror mystery series,
Hmm.
but then it also has dark comical undertones. So some scenes can seem funny to others that aren't funny, and then some scenes are just straight out funny. And I
Hmm.
think that's why it's a really cool show because they have these really funny scenes in the show mixed in. So I like it. I think it's a really well done show, and it kept me on the edge of my seat, and I didn't know what was going to happen in the
Hmm.
scene. Like I didn't know if I thought the sex ring was all in his head. I thought that girl
Hmm.
he had made up in his mind, and that they were
Yeah.
going to find nothing.
Anyway, we don't really find out what happened to that girl. She just kind of disappeared. And then Zach Shelby's just like, well, I'm going to kill you now. I don't know what happened to her. She just kind of disappears. Just the way the sheriff guy was in there, like the Shelby guy. Like, man, did she go through so many desperate things? And it's just like, well, we're going to be okay now. Yep, yep, yep. Just the way, how bipolar she was. I mean, she was hilarious. Like, I was laughing at just some of her actions. I mean, she's good, but she's so bipolar, and it's just hilarious.
Like the first scene where they take the body and they throw it in the water, and she's like, "Everything's gonna be okay now, Norman."
It's all good.
It's all good. Like just the way they set that up was perfect.
Yeah,
That
but
was,
as we later find out in the show, oh, water running, thundering outside and stuff. But later on in the show, we find out that Norman, kills his dad. Spoiler alert here, people. But then again,
spoilers.
that was like middle of the season. We're not telling exactly the finale because you have to explain what happens throughout the show. We still don't have to spoil the finale, but he kills his dad, and it's just like, oh, she had to cover it up. And then just a lot of really good stuff in the show. It's directed very well. I really love the atmosphere. The look of the Bates Motel house is perfect. The motel's pretty good. The whole town mystery. It's fun. It's awesome. So I give the show 9 out of 10. I hopefully season 2 will bump up to a 10 out of 10, but I can't wait for the next season. I can't wait for the show to be released on DVD, Blu-ray.
And I think I'm gonna give the show a 10 out of 10, but I think that the show is one of those shows that's gonna get even more and more intense every season,
Hmm.
and then it's gonna get really, really gory. Well, not gory, but I think the death count is gonna go up.
Oh yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see where they go from here.
Yeah, and I like the mystery.
I know the mystery part's just fantastic.
I mean, that's the best thing about the show. Nobody was expecting that. People thought, oh, it's just going to be Norman Bates and his mom going around murdering people, but there's so much more
Other
to
depth
it.
going
There's so
on in
many
the show.
puzzles.
Like, what's going to happen with Romero? What's going to be going on with Dylan? What's going to be on with Bradley? What's going on with Emma? What's going on with Emma's dad? What's
Yeah.
Norma going to be like? I mean, she's like, well, I guess we're all cool now. How's she going to be like, oh, shit, Norman did some things, and then we got to cover up for him.
Yeah, and she's going to know that Norman did it because he basically told her that he didn't remember and he blacked out. I thought that was a pretty good. Well, I kind of like the finale because I think they really set it up for the second season.
All right, well, 9 out of 10 for me, 10 out of 10 from you. Check out Bates Motel. We're all going to be back for a Friday the 13th series this year. I'm going to try and get my special guest going. It'll be like side by side. If you watch some of my videos, you might be able to guess who it is.
Oh, and I just wanted to make a special announcement. I'm going to have a special guest for Insidious 2, which we'll be doing in September. It's my good friend Laura, who will be the first girl ever to make an appearance on Epichorrorfans. So, yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
That.
Hmm.
So, she agreed to be part of that. And then after that, we're doing Carrie So it's gonna be Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah, and then I'm gonna do Hannibal. So Hannibal might be I might do it by myself, or I might have Sputterjack Angel with me. But we're gonna be doing Friday the 13th, definitely. That's one of our next big things. I mean, we tackled Nightmare on Elm Street with the Wes Cravens. We tackled the Halloween series. Now it's time for Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're also thinking about doing the Sleepy Hollow. We're still trying to find out like when
the show airs and see if we're really interested enough to do it. But horror TV has just been some of the best things out there right now, and I just can't wait. Anyways, thanks for watching. 9 out of 10 for me once again. 10 out of 10 from Danny. I'm JTISREBORN. That's Sexydanny21awesome. We are Epic Horror fans, and we'll be back soon. Thank you for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. More likes, the higher it shows up in the video system, the more subs we get. Be sure to check out some of the other users that are on our page, AGPunk15, Sputterjack Angel, and all of our other channels. Okay.
And AJ Punk 15 and Sputterjack Angel will hopefully be back for the Friday 13th review.
If we don't have any technical difficulties, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, too many technical difficulties.
That'll be coming up pretty soon, maybe like next month or the month after that.
Alright, thanks for watching everyone, have an awesome night, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.